Here at Lens Crackers, we can crack your fine, high-quality eyewear in less than an hour. Our trained technicians use only the best equipment to crack your fine quality eyewear. So remember, Lens Crackers, we can crack them in less than an hour.
What's going on? Welcome back to Truth Quest. Something's up here. Let me switch. Nope, that's not it. Is this it? No. Something went wonky with my... Oh, I think that's it. Is that it? Oh, gosh. Oh, no, I shouldn't be so little like that. Oh, I guess we'll try this one. It's not even showing up on the other vertical view. Oh boy, I thought I could. Is that it? Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going on a quest for truth together. Oh, it's so confusing. It's so confusing, folks. Bear with me. That doesn't mean there's a bear with me. That just means, you know. All right, trying to figure things out here. And yeah. So it's kind of tough sometimes, but we're here as usual because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. All righty, Aphrodite. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, and it's Monday, fun day, here on the Truth Quest. And I'm glad that you're all here. And don't forget to hit the old thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, the algo beat, and the algo melody. Oh yeah, you can't forget that. All those algo things that nobody knows what they really are, but they pretend like it's very important. Something like that. That's what it is. And guess what, folks? It's Skylark 74's birthday today. So give him a big happy birthday. Happy birthday to every girl and boy. Oh, yeah. And so, well, let's go over to Chatlandia, shall we? And see what's happening over there, shall we now? We shall. And look, it's Weiss123. That's Catherine Weiss. She's one of our Ultramods. She says, hi, Aaron. And then she also says, I'll be over on YouTube tonight. And then she says, hi, Peggy. She always says hi to Peggy before she leaves. And then I said, hi, Kathy. Okay. And then Kathy says, hi over there on YouTube. And then I said, hi, Kathy, on YouTube as well. And on the portrait view on YouTube, I said, hello, Truth Questers. Just so someone's over there saying hi to them for now. And Cap 78 Pack, that's Peggy Dancer, another one of our Ultramods, says, hi, Aaron. Hi, Weiss123, Kathy. I'll be here. Awesome. Thank you. And then Skylark says, greetings, fellow Truth Questers. And then I said, hi, Peggy. Hi, Skylark 74. And then here's where Skylark makes the birthday reveal here. Monday, December 15th is my 71st birthday. Well, happy 71st. Wow. That's awesome. And then I said, happy birthday, Skylark 74. And then the dancing banana that you can't see on there. And then Peggy Dancer says, hi, Aaron. Hi, Weiss123. Kathy over there on YouTube. And then Kathy says, hi, Peggy. Then I said, hi, Peggy, over on YouTube. Bless me. And then Peggy Dancer says, hi, Skylark74. Happy 71st birthday, Skylark74. And she has a birthday cake and a whole bunch of festive things there. Look at that. Another birthday cake. Boy, she knows how to get all those little things on there. Someday I'll have to learn that. All that stuff. So much to learn. And then Skylark says, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Aaron. And Kathy says, hi, Skylark. And then Kathy says, hi, Aaron, over on YouTube. And it looks like we have someone from Germany. I hope this is a real person. Hey, and it's Vaudouas Jr. Good to see you here from Germany. That's pretty cool. Then Kathy says, hi, Skylark. Happy birthday, Skylark74. Oh, and then Peggy Dancer says, I see I'm not the only one having connection problems. Oh, really? And then Kathy says, hi, Vaudouas Jr. And there's someone else says, hi, YouTube. How are you today? Motorcycle lover. I don't know if that is a real person. Oh, and I know this is a real person because I went to school with him. This is the BK. Says, hi all y'all. Well, good to see you here, buddy. That's awesome. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to go over to X first and check X out. Oh, and Motorcycle Lover says, yes, I'm a real person. Oh, that's good to know. We've been having a little bit of trouble over there on the portrait view for YouTube where some fake people are going over there. So good to know. It's always a good idea to, you know, I guess a bot could say that too, but it's getting so hard to tell these days with AI getting so good. Yeah, there's one that needs to go. Dustin Borderlands needs to go. Saying bad things. We don't need bad things. There's the BK again saying, hey. Kathy says hi to the Motorcycle Lover, and Motorcycle Lover says, no, I'm not AI. Okay. Well, we'll take your word for it. And because I guess that's all we can do. That's all we can do. Oh, look, and it's our good friend Corbin Phoenix. Hello, Corbin. Good to see you, buddy. That's incredible. Yes, very cool dude there. All righty, Aphrodite. Well, let's go over to X because X marks the spot. You might even say the X-Files. You might. We might. You might. And we all might. Well, let's go over there to X and see what the heck is going on over there. So much to talk about, isn't there? There's like too much. There's never been a slow news day. When you have President Trump as your president, there's never a slow news day, is there? All kinds of stuff happening all over the place. All over the place. So here's my little X page. Truth Quest. Questing for the truth. And there's our YouTube and our Rumble. Rumble's better, I'd say. But you can watch it whatever platform you got. I'm back on YouTube, which is a miracle. They told me I was banned for life, and then here I am. Why, I'm still alive, and they got me back on there. So number 709, full disclosure, how can you believe it? 709 episodes. There's a beautiful Earthrise from the moon, courtesy of the Japanese space station. Isn't that lovely? And here's this woman, for all the non-believers, she's trying to prove herself now because everyone's trying to figure out how she's doing this. And so let's give her a chance to, Terrible shared this. to redeem herself.
Okay, so this video is for the skeptics out there that want me to do a video with no music. Nothing underneath my table. In fact, there's literally just 2 walls. There's no fans on my ceilings. Okay, now that we got that.
Wouldn't it just be the wind from her hands moving that would knock those over?
I can transmute my energy through any object. Use a marker. You can use anything. Wood's a little harder. All right, let's see, what can we do?
Could be static electricity too. She's got a magnetic nose ring. That's what it is. It says Corbin Phoenix. Okay. Wasn't she the same woman that was sitting behind someone during a congressional hearing and she was like lip syncing the words before the woman said it? Spooky. I think it's the same woman. Oh, look at this. For the last time, the pyramids were not built by aliens. Elon Musk, Gork, image prompt. Add some aliens. Look at that. Now they should show Fred Flintstone on operating this Brontosaurus here, right? Thanks, Elon. Grok and Elon. Astronomy Vibes puts this out. Could the universe be an advanced simulation? Well, if you believe the Japanese physicists, they supposedly proved that our 3D world and lives is nothing more than a projection from a 2-dimensional realm. Isn't that interesting? So a holographic projection, if you will. Because try as they might, when they look at anything solid, they look close enough, they look down, it's like there's nothing there. There's nothing there except energy fields. Yeah. Oh, and here's that real footage of Earth rising over the moon captured by the Japanese lunar orbiter, JAXA. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Too cool for school. Just love it. Love it, love it. Can't get enough of it. Right? I like that. And here's the pyramids. Look at that. So did we ever figure out what's beneath the pyramids? Well, I guess, it's hard to convince the old school scientists because, they got their whole life wrapped up in this story that they've concocted, Whether it be true or not, or maybe, who knows? Nobody knows. We're all just guessing. Somebody might know, but we don't need some blaring music with that, do we? No, we don't. Oh, and here is, do you think there's some underground civilization advanced as our, or more advanced than human beings? This is a guy who was a sitting president of a country when he was abducted by aliens. Check this out. In 1997.
Because the being looks so much like what I saw in Peru. So I wondered if it's like some global underground civilization. And so my question is, do you think there's some underground civilization that's maybe as advanced or more advanced than human beings?
Well, I don't just think, I am sure, I know. Even Baba Vanga told me. Sometimes she would point down with her finger and say, "They are talking there. They are there." And I asked her, "Who is there?" I thought she meant the people who had been buried. No, she said, they live there. That was the kind of conversation we had. And I know some scientists who study caves and rocks. When I was in the Caucasus, when I was in India, in Tibet, in the Altai, they found traces there. Places where someone lived, or where someone still lives and comes out from there. For me, this is natural. In some books and studies, it is written that deep down, all the way to the core of the earth, there are civilizations there as well. They live there, maybe in some different form. Scientists keep discovering things. There was a volcano recently, I forgot which one. Lava was erupting. And in that magma, they discovered living beings, microbes. So there is life even in that molten mass. If these microorganisms exist there, then other forms of life exist as well. Fairy tales and legends did not appear for no reason. There is the Kalmyk epic called Jangari. It was passed down from generation to generation. It's not just centuries, but even millennia old. And it was passed down not in writing, but through songs, through these ancient tales. And in the Jangar epic, the underworld is described, how creatures live there, how they communicate, how they come to the surface. Sometimes they don't come out, they get recorded. That's how it is. Well, it needs to be studied. That's why I say governments should seriously pay attention to this and officially allocate funds. But it's not just governments. There are also many businessmen, including American ones, I know, who, so to speak, direct money towards studying these extraterrestrial civilizations and civilizations that are underwater. It's quite fascinating to observe. We're launching cosmic vessels, sending satellites to Mars, to Venus, way, way out into deep space, aren't we? Yet we can't construct an underwater device that could descend to a depth of 10 or even 11 kilometers. Quite remarkable, isn't it? Because it's getting torn apart. We fly into space, to the stars, but here on Earth, on our own Earth, we go underwater for about 8 kilometers. If you take the Earth's crust, like an apple, just imagine an apple, then the Earth's crust is like the peel of that apple. And the rest, down to the Earth's core. How many thousands? 40,000 kilometers, is that right? How many different beings, different civilizations live there? There are many, and they also fight each other there. They set rules, sometimes coming to the surface.
Isn't that interesting? I'd say it's pretty darn interesting. From 1997, he was abducted and shown some amazing things. 38 U.S. states with gas prices under $3 a gallon. Well, look at that. Oh, it's only the Democrat-run states that are higher. Imagine that. Oh, I love this diaper diplomacy. This is good. From diaper diplomacy, let's watch this.
President, at the end of this year, those extended Obamacare subsidies expire. What's your message to those 24 million Americans who will see their insurance premiums go up?
Don't make it sound so bad, because obviously you're sycophant for Democrats. You're obviously a provider of bad news for Republicans. Let me just say something. The Republicans, I think I can speak for Tom and most other people. I think what most Republicans want to see is what I want to see. And I leave it to them, and hopefully they're going to put great legislation on this desk right here. We want to see all of the money that's been squandered and given to insurance company, because Obamacare is horrible health insurance. It's far too expensive, and it always has been. But what it really is a way of making insurance companies rich. We want the money not to be paid at all to insurance companies. You know, insurance companies have gone up 1,700% over a short, meaning the stock, 1,700% over a short period of time. And they've taken in hundreds of billions and even trillions of dollars. And we want the money to go to the people. They'll go in the form of a insurance account, healthcare account, or any other form that we can create. We have a lot of different forms. We want to give the money to the people and let the people buy their own great healthcare. And they'll save a lot of money, and it'll be great. Now, the problem we have is that the Republicans are not at all controlled by the insurance companies. But you know who is? The Democrats. The Democrats have received hundreds of millions of dollars. They're totally controlled by the insurance companies. So we might not get too many of their votes. But I actually think we'd get some Democrat votes. So I don't know how you feel about it, Tom, but everybody wants to see this happen. Everybody. I put it out, and all of a sudden, we've taken over in a positive way. The Republicans have taken over healthcare in a positive way. I want to see the billions of dollars go to the people, not to the insurance companies. And I want to see the people go out and buy themselves great healthcare.
Beautiful. Great idea. I hope enough people can go along with it. President Trump announces he is signing an executive order to classify fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. Good. It needs to be. That's really good. From Benny Johnson, Tim Burchett shared this, that we better wake up. The FBI has stopped a planned terrorist bombing in Los Angeles on a New Year's Eve. 4 suspects from a pro-Palestine extremist group, the left. They love the Palestinians. They're anti-Semites too, I think. Now they got someone in custody. They put an end to it. Listen to this.
It has disrupted a planned New Year's Eve terror attack in Los Angeles. 4 suspects in custody, the FBI identifying them as members of a pro-Palestine extremist group. They're suspected of planning coordinated IED attacks targeting 5 different locations in Los Angeles. But based on the reporting now, that plot has been foiled. We will wait for more out of LA or out of Washington, D.C. Yep.
There he is. How do you like them apples? Every single time. Oops.
Lately, there's a statement.
Oops. Why does this do this every time?
Out there all over the place. It's a quote from a lot of people. It said, Trump's been right about everything. And if you think about it, I really have.
Yep. He has. Breaking update. Rob Reiner and his wife have been found dead in their home near Los Angeles with wounds consistent with a knife. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ LAPD's robbery homicide division is still investigating. Yeah, they got his son did it, apparently. A troubled son. Here's from Santa Trump. Pay attention. Read the book of Enoch yourself. And this is some interesting information on the book of Enoch.
The Bible's got one of the biggest cliffhangers in history that nobody talks about. In Genesis, it mentions a man named Enoch. It says he walked with God and he was not, for God took him. That's it. He didn't die. He just vanished. But where'd he go? And what did he see? Well, for over 1,000 years, the church essentially said, don't worry about it. But they left out a massive piece of the puzzle. the Book of Enoch. This ain't some random fan fiction. This book was found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was quoted by the apostles. The book of Jude in the New Testament actually quotes Enoch directly. Early Christians read it, but by the 4th century, the religious authorities, they said no. They banned it. They tried to wipe it out of history. Why? Because it spills the tea on everything. The Book of Enoch describes a group of 200 angels called the Watchers. They landed on Mount Hermon and made a pact to interfere with humanity. But here's the part that really gives me chills. They didn't just come down to sleep with humans, though they did that too. They came to trade knowledge for worship. The text says they taught humans forbidden secrets of heaven. They taught men how to make swords, knives, and shields. They introduced them to warfare. They taught the women about beautifying the eyelids and wearing jewelry, introducing vanity and ego. They taught sorcery, astrology, and how to use roots and plants for spells. Think about that. The book claims that the corruption of the world didn't just happen because humans are bad. It happened because higher intelligence interfered. They gave us technology and knowledge that we weren't spiritually ready for. Paints a picture of a world that's way more supernatural than the church wants you to believe.
Oops. Got it. Well, that's it. The Book of Enoch. Very interesting, I'd say. I would have to say. Yeah. Liberty score. I think we found the problem. And how exactly did this guy get to be the Republican Senate Majority Leader? John Thune. He gets a Liberty score of F, 51%, which means he's not a good steward of the Republicans. And how did gun control help Australia? Yeah, they took everyone's guns away. And look what happened in Bondi Beach. They were just picking people off because nobody has a gun to shoot back. Gun control clearly does not prevent violence or keep guns out of criminals' hands. No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't. It's very sad. Here's Mike Rowe. And supposedly he nails it here. Whoops.
$1 million in student loans on the books. We got 7.6 million open positions that don't require a 4-year degree. And yet we keep lending money we don't have to kids who are never going to be able to pay it back to train them for jobs that don't exist anymore. If we want to close the skills gap, we got to make a more persuasive case for millions of good jobs that nobody knows about and nobody understands. These are 6-figure jobs or opportunities that lead straight to a 6-figure career. They're everywhere. And if we don't reinvigorate the trades, I'm afraid the president's best efforts to bring manufacturing back to these shores is going to run into a real roadblock. We need an enthused workforce, skilled for the jobs that are out there.
Yeah, well said. As I was telling you, I'm a railroad mechanic. I've been doing that for 25 years. I've been doing side work as an auto mechanic my entire life. I have 4 kids. We own a house. We've been able to live comfortably because of that one skill set of being able to do something mechanically. And
you're not the problem. You should be on a billboard. People should look at your life as an example of what can happen when you master a skill that's in demand and work your ass off. That's still for sale. It's still important. And we have to get in front of that message, and we have to reinvigorate the trades in a way that makes this generation of kids look at careers like the ones you had and go, yeah, damn Skippy, I'd do that.
And these aren't the jobs that are going to be replaced by AI. The plumbers, the electricians, the mechanics, they're not going to be replaced by AI. Yet all these things that people are trading their entire future for, they're all going to be replaced by AI.
You said it, not me, but something tells me your days working on the railroad could not have been done by a robot.
100%. Mike Rowe, I took up enough of your time. Thank you so much for giving me.
Isn't that nice? Oh, bagpipes during Muslim call to prayer. This is beautiful. Check this out.
Ready?
Beautiful. We need to get bagpipe players at every call to prayer that we have in this country, in every country that shouldn't be having them, any Western country. They cheated like hell. Let's hear Donald Trump.
That's all they're good at cheating in elections, very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you'll see it come out. It's coming out in truckloads. And California's election, New York also, but California more than any other place is so rigged. It's such a rigged election. You know, we won the Hispanic vote. So a lot of people say Republican wouldn't win California, but I won the Hispanic vote. I won in Miami. Think of that. In Miami, I won the Hispanic vote. Along the Texas border, I won every single city or town touching the Texas border, and they're 85 to 90% Hispanic. We won the Hispanic vote. If the vote in California was legitimate, which it's not, they have 38 million ballots. Everything is mail-in voting. They mail out 38 million ballots, and they come in. Where the hell do they go, and where do they come from? It's a rigged election in California because we would win California by a lot. And again, they still feel they have the advantage with Hispanic. They don't.
That's right. Oh, and look at this. A mother put her breast milk under a microscope, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's like God's living crystalline light nourishing our bodies. Wow. Look at this. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Incredible. And Elon is right, man. Matt Van Swall. Elon Musk says, if tolerance means the end of Western civilization, then we cannot be tolerant. And Matt says, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think I'm beginning to lose the will to be tolerant. Yes, you should, because it's going to be the end of us if we are too tolerant. Cover up. Yes, this is what a cover up looks like.
The most common question I've gotten for the last 24 hours, it revolves around the fact that Brown University is the most camera-ridden, most responsive piece of real estate in Rhode Island. And yet there seems to be little or no video evidence outside of that clip. You know, respecting the investigation, is there a lot more video that we're just not able to see yet because of the ongoing investigation? Or is there simply no video?
So what we shared with you the other day is what we have that we could share, and then we'll continue to, again, we're continuing to collect evidence. As we speak, we have detectives out there trying to continue to find. So I don't want to tell you that there's no more video because we might find something within the next few minutes. So yes, it's possible, but what we gave you today is what we have. Go ahead.
So, Colonel, if you wouldn't mind.
Can't find it. Talk to the security people at the university and get the tapes. Seems pretty easy to me, unless they're being told not to. The entire ploy was to release a deceptively altered photo just to put out a narrative and try to smear Trump. Let's listen to this.
And they would be measured. But what did they do today? They release photos that are cherry-picked, by the way, and they throw in an already publicly released photo of Donald Trump. They blur out the pictures of the women to make you think that these women were underage sex victims, when in fact, they were very adult. They were at an event. It's already a publicly released photo. And one of the women said on the record, oh, Donald Trump was gentlemanly. So what the Democrats are doing here is they're taking a very serious story in which real people got hurt by powerful people, all for the purpose of trying to smear Donald Trump. That's what this has always been about. They didn't care about it until now. And what they're doing with these photos is nothing short of outrageous. This is not a story about Trump and Epstein. It's a story about Epstein, but they want it to be about Trump. And I'm just, honestly, it is crazy. When you put out photos and digitally alter and react to faces, you know what you're doing, and it's not right. And they would be measured.
Right. Despicable. I have a theory, and you're not going to like it. Thune is resisting ending the filibuster because it will make Trump's presidency so powerful and popular, it will lock in MAGA White House for another 11 years, if not longer, and the McConnell globalists will lose all power. Well, as they should. Yes. Why don't you stick with the winners instead of sticking with the losers? Here is Mars. Look at this. 140 million miles away. Not a whole lot happening out there on Mars. Looks like that's really Mars. Right? Is that really Mars? I think so. I think so. This is alarming and frightening at the same time. Let's listen to this.
We've made significant progress under President Trump's leadership. We have the jihadis of ISIS and Al-Qaeda on the run in Iraq and Syria, thanks to the decisive action and the strikes that we've taken there recently since President Trump took office in January. However, we have a persistent threat from the individuals that were allowed into this country by the previous administration. The number one threat that we have right now, in my view, is the fact that we don't know who came into our country in the last 4 years of Biden's open borders. What we have identified is alarming, and I want to share that with you today. We just recently put out a warning of the heightened risk of terrorist attacks posed to the homeland by terrorists pretty much of all stripes, but in particular from ISIS and from Al-Qaeda. NCTC has been crunching the numbers and going through the sheer volume of known and suspected terrorists that are in the country that came in under the Biden administration. So far, NCTC has identified around 18,000 known and suspected terrorists that the Biden administration let come into our country. These are individuals who under normal circumstances would never be allowed to enter our country because of their ties to jihadi groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Yet the Biden administration not only let them into the country, and in many cases facilitated their entry into the country, just like the entry of the Afghan terrorists who committed the terrorist attack here just before Thanksgiving, killing one of our National Guard members and wounding another. That Afghan was brought into the country as a group of over 100,000 Afghans who were brought here during the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. These individuals, despite what has been reported, were not vetted properly to come into the United States. The individual terrorist who committed the attack in DC, he was vetted to serve as a soldier in Afghanistan. The Biden administration essentially used his tactical level vetting as a ruse to bring him here and to bring him into our communities. And we've seen the tragic results of that. Now, that Afghan, that attacker, that terrorist is just one of 88,000. We've identified 2,000 of that group of 88,000 who have ties to terrorist organizations. We're working right now hand in hand with DHS and with the FBI to run down this 2,000, the Afghans who came here under Allies Welcome who have ties to terrorist organizations, and additionally the other 16,000 individuals with ties to terrorist organizations that Biden let into our country. Wow. That is probably the top terrorist threat that we face right now, and that doesn't include the individuals who came here illegally through the open border. That number alarmingly remains unknown at this time. We're trying to figure out who those individuals are as well.
Wow. See how much damage one sleepy, creepy, crooked Joe can do to a country in 4 years? My goodness. And here's a little bit of Pam Bondi.
You know, you're very concerned about money and people taking money and you rail against dark money.
Wait a second.
Yet you work with dark money groups all the time, Senator Whitehouse. Senator, I would be more concerned if I were you when you talk about corruption and money that when you pushed for legislation that would subsidize your wife's company. When you're the one who was taking money from one of Epstein's closest confidants, I believe, I could be wrong, correct me, Reid Hoffman, who was with Jeffrey Epstein on multiple occasions. Senator Blumenthal, I find it so interesting that you didn't bring any of this up during President Biden's administration when he was doing everything to protect Hunter Biden, his son. And I think you just saw what Director Radcliffe just released.
You know, this is an effort to be positive.
If I can finish answering the question, I'm not going to yell over you. I'm not going to get in the gutter with you.
Because my time is limited.
No, well then don't ask me a question.
And moreover.
And you lied about your military service.
I am
you
not
lied.
asking
You admitted you lied to be elected a U.S. senator. You lied. How dare you? I'm a career prosecutor. Don't you ever challenge my integrity.
At the FCC, not the Department of Justice. Attorney General Blondie would have had nothing to do with that. Thanks.
And that was why I asked Senator Lee. He didn't know that. He was reading off a script. You were also on video outside the White House protesting with a group called CASA where Antifa members were. Does that mean you're a member of Antifa?
How does it feel to have spoken to an astro?
I've been paying attention.
You know, you want order in here now, yet you stormed the Director of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. You sure didn't have order that day, did you, Senator?
Attorney General, you are under oath. I did not storm.
Been able to do this?
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have a question for the Secretary.
Yet you do know the answer to that.
Don't call me a liar.
Senator Tillis and many others have been waiting their turn.
I know,
So
but this
you
is
can
1
hold
minute,
until
and
the
it
end.
relates to testimony that she gave about
Little pencil neck Adam Schiff.
If you worked for me, you would have been fired because you were censured by Congress for lying with your agreement. You want your
you were asked by my colleague. You were asked by my colleague.
Attacking good people. Will you apologize to Donald Trump
So
for
I guess
trying to impeach
the
him?
answer is you won't support. To introduce into the record the statement of 1,000 former Justice Department officials who warn that the Comey indictment is a democracy-threatening abuse of power. Of 282 former career officials at the Justice Department. Chair, may I introduce the letter from Michael Ben-Ari, a career counterterrorism prosecutor at DOJ, a letter he nailed to his door.
I just want to say that I believe he entered a letter by 200 and something former employees. Well, I believe the spokesperson for that letter was also the spokesperson for Jack Smith.
Senator Brett.
Yes, the light will reveal those on the team and those pretending to be. This is not a game. They want us divided. Last post self-destruction will immediately show the world the truth. Instructions will be sent on how to preserve online. You don't think this was simply about words, did you? We have it all. Coming soon to a theater near you, Q. There you go. And they have a person of interest.
That were impacted by these actions. So yeah, as the mayor stated, we have detained someone of interest, but I respect and to protect the integrity of the investigation, I would only be limited in my details.
Not going to be talking about it. Finally, I found the original video. This is from AD. Finally. Check this out.
What the fuck?
Look at that. Look at that. The power, how much electricity is in our atmosphere. Just waiting to. Incredible. Incredible. Look at this hulking bunch of stuff from the sun. Watch it split off. Look at this. Spooky. Look at that. Yow. Flying off to slam into a planet near you. That's very evil looking. It's dark. For being on the sun, it's pretty dark looking. Look at that. It gets pushed off like a repelling magnet. Look at that. All that electromagnetic force. The sun is electric. You can tell. You can see it. It just looks electric to me. And look at this. Elon Musk. This is super cute. Mario Nafal puts us out. Tesla Diner launches mini Cybertruck race cars for kids built circling the new Model Y for kids. You know, I was going to send a little message to Elon. He's got this restaurant, right? This Tesla restaurant. I think they should have specially made chips and call them computer chips and have them all the sizes of every, like the first computer chip and all the little ones. I think that would be cool. Computer chips. Don't you see them munching on computer chips? Not real computer chips, but chips that look. Elon Musk shared this. Let's check this out.
Elon Musk has once again shifted the Overton window of American culture when he tweeted out that slavery was standard practice throughout all of human history, and it was ended by white people. He had left the comment underneath the video I made on slavery, and this resulted in a lot of pushback because slavery is one of the 3 historical pillars that modern political power is built on. The others being the Civil War and World War II. And they don't like when you question the source of their power. So they don't want you to realize that 5 to 10 million people were enslaved by the Ottoman Empire. 4 to 10 million people were enslaved in the trans-Saharan slave trade. 9 to 17 million people were enslaved in the trans-Indian slave trade. 10 million people were enslaved in South America. That slavery as an institution had been around for all of human history, for thousands of years, and practiced by all people. But around 1776, the idea of individual liberty started to spread through the Western world like wildfire. And all of a sudden you had the US Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and people just take this stuff for granted these days. They think that it's always been like this. But in 1776, only one country in the world had a constitution, and only one country in the world had a Bill of Rights. And today, almost every country has one. And this is what makes America so exceptional. This is why America is a shining city on a hill, because the world followed America. And it wasn't long until people started pointing out the contradiction of slavery. And the United States of America would ban slavery in 7 states when the rest of the world had only banned it in 7 countries. In fact, in the original draft of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson tried to get rid of slavery. He called it a cruel war against human nature itself. And as president in 1807, Thomas Jefferson ended the transatlantic slave trade. And Britain did the same thing that year. And in 1833, Britain abolished slavery. And Britain would spend the next 100 years pretty much demanding that all other countries abolish slavery. They used diplomacy, treaties, military force, whatever it took. And hundreds of thousands of Americans gave their lives to end slavery. And the United States stood side by side with Britain, demanding that countries all over the world abolish slavery. And that's why they finally gave it up in the Middle East. They finally gave it up in Africa. And in the end, it was the moral conviction of the European that led to the abolition of slavery all over the world, built upon the principles of America's founding fathers. And this is why I write books on how information is controlled, about our rights. And I teach courses on real history, because there is an insidious agenda to shame our children into submission. And the truth is that our children should be damn proud of where they come from and who they are. Check out my private homeschool community. And Cubs to Bears, books, classicallearner.com.
Interesting. So cool. That's good to know. Oh, Ian, ever wonder what a rocket launch from space looks like from World of Science? Check this out. Look at that. There it goes up. A tiny little dot. Look at our thin atmosphere just protecting us from all that stuff out there. Boom, he's in space now. Look at that. Just beautiful. And then it didn't explode. I think that it separated from its booster. Or maybe it did explode. Nope. Something's still there. Continuing on. Just wonderful. Thank you, Elon Musk, for reinvigorating interest in rocketry by doing cool stuff. Too cool for school, you might even say. There you have it. Our beautiful planet. Oh, and this is authorities have declared the shooting at Brown University, Rhode Island, a mass casualty event. And yes, another shooting event. Very sad.
We're over in Sioux City now and working with Frens.
Let's see. King Solomon over the Freedom of Information Act. Central Intelligence Agency conspired and succeeded in the overthrow of the United States government on November 3rd, 2020.
Russian disinformation when it wasn't. It is between him and John Brennan, one of the signatories. You know who John Brennan is? He was Obama's CIA director, right? He's the guy that told Obama, hey, Hillary Clinton is doing a dirty trick on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Well, this is just before the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Hunter Biden's laptop is flinging out there. This is what Mike Morrell, former CIA director, tells his successor, John Brennan, hey, sign this letter because I'm, quote, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. A man with a security clearance, a man with the title of CIA director, knew that he wasn't creating an intelligence product, a Merrick civic duty with 51 people. He was trying to create a political moment. Damning evidence. We'll try to find out if Congress has this letter, but this is a very important piece. It is the ultimate proof that what went out on that letter was a political dirty trick coordinated with the Biden campaign.
Of course it was. Oh, here's Newscomb.
I just wanted to let you know, hey guys, it's your governor, Gavin Newsom. I just wanted to let you know that I'm running for president as the official trans people's candidate. That'll get me all the votes I need. Oh, and also, I love trans kids. I want to see more of them. Hey guys, it's your governor, Gavin Newsom.
Even this AI version is creepy. Oh, here's old Bummer's library. Doesn't look like a library to me. It looks like a dumpster. What do you honestly think of Barack Insane Obama's $850 million presidential center? Looks terrible. Breaking: President Trump just gave an update on the service member who lost their lives during the ambush in Syria. I think we've all heard about that. Very sad. And let's see here. What else can we get to? Tim Walls says the majority of Somali fraud committed in his state is by white men. Yeah, white Somalis? What are you talking about? What you talking about? He's just so desperate trying to save the illegals. Tim Burchett, someone warned me in the tunnel. Let's listen to this.
And I always heard they always use somebody you know that's close to you. And I've had that moment. I was in the tunnel. And somebody that kind of shocked me, really, came up to me and said, Burchett, said, you really want to do this? You really want to upset this apple cart? And said that how it could affect, religion and all this other stuff. And I go back to Moskowitz. I don't know if y'all remember Jared Moskowitz in one of the opening press conferences. Jared, I'm jealous of his brain because he's got we don't agree politically on a lot of things, but his brain is incredible. And he said, the arrogance of these people thinking that we can't handle this. It's not their job to decide what we can handle. He said it much more eloquent way, but anyway, yeah, I've had that moment, and more than once, but one particularly sticks in my head.
Isn't that sad? Yeah, we can handle it. Just let it out. Let it out. There's our last show. All right, that brings us back to here. And I want to take a little moment to talk about something that's controversial. She really shouldn't be controversial, but it is controversial. And that is the debate over how to have your toilet paper. This is actually a paper towel roll, but for demonstration purposes. So a lot of people think that this is the way to do it, right? Over the top, or, a lot of people do it like that. But here's what I say. If you have a cat, the cat's going to go like this. All right. And it's going to make a mess, right? So if you have a cat, if you have it the other way and the cat hits it, guess what? It's not going anywhere. Right? The cat can do it all day long, and you're not going to waste any toilet paper. So, and the reason why this is on my mind is because whenever I run out of toilet paper, I just put another roll on. I'm not really paying attention as to how I'm putting it on. And I found myself, both ways are good in different ways. But like I said, if you have a cat, doing it the old-fashioned way where it's over the top makes a mess. If you have a cat, you might want to, even maybe just when you leave, put it the other way. Or maybe they should have like a cover that goes over it for cat owners. I don't know. But what do you do? Do you do it over the top or over the bottom, over the back, the front or the back? How do you do your toilet paper roll? And I remember, I think when I was a lot younger, watching television, because a lot of us watched a lot of television back then. And I was watching Carol O'Connor in All in the Family. And they were watching TV. And someone on the TV said, you got to do it this way, the toilet paper. And Edith, oh my goodness, she ran up, went to the bathroom and changed it. That's how everyone wants to do things the right way. But don't be afraid to do things your own way, because it might just be better. Might be better, or it might not. But for some reason, that's a contentious thing, just like pineapple on a pizza. It's shouldn't be controversial, but it is, right? That's what it is. And thank you, Wonky Donk Mooberry, for lending me the paper towel dispenser to give that little spiel on toilet paper. And if you put it on and it's coming from the back, just leave it and then change it the next time. You'll save time, and you'll save a little bit of time, right? It's not that important. Well, let's go over to Facebook, the Book of Faces. And a continued happy birthday to our good friend Skylark74. So let's see what's happening over there on the Book of Faces, Land of Zuckers. Here we are. Oh, and what do we have here? There's our show, 709, number 709. And here is Tom Holman, the border czar. I'm begging the politicians, the governors, the mayors who constantly attack these men and women. Please stop. I don't want to bury anybody else. It's not a joke. Yeah, they need to grow the heck up and just let these people do their jobs and participate with them. Pro tip, when ice fishing, bring an action figure of yourself to exaggerate your catch. Look how big this guy was. He's bigger than me. Look at that. Hey, wait a minute. That's just a G.I. Joe right there. Yeah, we already saw this. And there's Trump. Oh, this is a good one put out by Think Positive Power. And Charlie Brown says, we only live once, Snoopy. And Snoopy says, wrong. We only die once. We live every day. That's a very good way to look at it. That's right. Every day. And here's this guy, again, this gentleman who, sitting world leader, says aliens took him. Let's check it out again. Another little video. Oops.
The only leader of a prominent nation who was abducted by aliens and taken up on a spacecraft while you were a sitting president in 1997.
You are constantly using the term abducted. I was invited by them.
The episode you're about to watch is truly historic. I'm here with the great Kirsan Ilyumzinov. Not only was he president of Kalmykia at the time of his alien visitation, but he was also president of FIDE, the World Chess Federation. He was in Vladimir Putin's inner circle for decades, has met many world leaders, including American presidents and secretaries of state. He knew some notorious figures like Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi very well, but also befriended Pope John Paul II. And because he was president of the only European Buddhist Republic of Russia, he also happens to be very close friends to this day with His Holiness, the Dalai Lama.
So over centuries, we have some special relations.
Kirsan describes his entire experience in full detail.
There was something like a translucent pipe glowing, made of some matter. So I went along this tube, and there was something like a fiery, like a planet giving off heat.
In this exclusive interview, we get his chief of staff on record for the first time, saying that he searched Kirsan's penthouse apartment for hours. And then one of the rooms that they had thoroughly scanned, he just walked out of. It's so trippy. Beyond that, we discuss Putin and Trump's knowledge of UFOs and aliens. What do you think the Dalai Lama thinks about UFOs and extraterrestrials?
Well,
Kirsan even gives direct historical examples of the US and Soviets sharing knowledge on UFOs.
Thank you. Nice to see you all.
He even gives a fascinating anecdote about his longtime friend, American Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger was watching me closely. He was a man of few words, and Gorbachev, sitting next to him, said, "Come on, Henry, tell him."
And if that's not all, Kirsan reveals that the president of a large sovereign nation that happens to be a close friend of his was also visited by aliens while he was on a fishing trip. Because Kirsan courageously went public with his own experience, this president felt comfortable confiding in Kirsan with the full details of his story. A story that's never been told before, but that Kirsan relays here.
So chess, it's something that was brought in from somewhere else. Aliens invented it. Extraterrestrials invented it.
So without further ado, sit back, relax, and prepare to ascend into a higher dimensional space with this week's Kalmykian alchemist, Kirsan Ilyumzinov.
Now, I did know that the chess was invented to replace war. They were planning to, eliminate war and thus eliminate war killing and just have the leaders play a game of chess. That's interesting because when I was designing Tetragon, my game, Tetragon 2, which you can see behind me. It just came to me. It came to me, and nothing like that ever happened before. And it was so good. I only had to tweak one rule, and it worked perfectly. And it almost seemed to me like it wanted me to reinvent it, like it had been here before. Or maybe it's also an alien game. I don't know. But I've never had something just come into my head like that and have it come out almost perfect. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to design a good working game. And one of the inspirations for Tetragon 2 was chess. Chess, checkers, Othello, and Go were my inspirations for that game. It's a non-violent game of strategic creation. So he might like that. Oh, a little slice of vintage put this out. Have we ever found out why these little people, guys, were so mad? Yeah, why would they make mad ones, right? Don't you want kids to be happy? I guess that's a real emotion of a kid, so you want to put that out there. But yeah, they don't make those anymore. Oh, true, not sure. So this is this guy who yeah, he was at this event over there in Australia where they had those shooters. And he claims he was hit in the head, but here's a picture of this woman painting the stuff on him. And in his interview, his face is full of blood, but there's bandages and there's no blood on the bandages. So I don't know. Yeah. And it turns out that he is, deeply involved with, what is his title? I can't remember. Yeah. He's, a Jewish guy trying to root out anti-Semitism, and he happens to be there and maybe getting painted up. We don't know. 72-hour law. So we got to wait and find out. Breaking: FBI announces they have foiled a credible terror plot. We already saw that. And here is from Julie Renbarger Spear, Flying Chariots: The Rise, our good friend Dustin Schuta. Some pictures here from 1956. Look at this. So this is the top of his window or the opening for a window in his truck. He took the pictures out of the window of his truck. You can see the rearview mirror here. And let's see what this says. In 1956, an Army missile instructor driving near Heflin, Alabama, pulled over after spotting a strange disc-shaped object in the sky. He managed to take 4 photographs as the object appeared to tilt and rotate before disappearing. The images were reviewed by Project Blue Book, but no official explanation was ever agreed upon. Decades later, the Heflin photos are still debated. Not proven hoax, not proven craft, just one of the more intriguing UFO photo cases in the 1950s. Look at that. Don't you love that? I like the old cases because there was no Photoshop back then, right? From Bloomberg, this is put out by the White House. Bloomberg says U.S. trade deficit unexpectedly shrinks to smallest since 2020. Wall Street Journal, U.S. trade deficit falls to 5-year low. New York Times, these are not friendly to him. Trump's tariffs shrank the U.S. trade deficit in September. And CNBC says lower trade deficits than we expected from the White House. That's great. Getting a little bit of positive press. Democrat unaffordability. Inflation Reduction Act caused highest inflation in 50 years. Affordable Care Act requires massive tax subsidies to avoid astronomical premium costs. Green New Scam, Green New Deal, soared gas and utility costs to the highest on record. Democrats trying to solve the unaffordability crisis is like asking the arsonist to put out the fire they set. It's not going to happen. They're just going to make more fires. And look, this is the last line in the speech at the unveiling of the Statue of Liberty, October 28th, 1886. Listen to this. There is room in America and brotherhood for all who will support our institutions and aid in our development. But those who come to disturb our peace and to dethrone our laws are aliens and enemies forever. Yes, I like that. I think that's true. I think it's very true. And Putin says, I want the ordinary citizens of Western countries to hear me. You are being persistently told that all your current difficulties are the result of hostile actions by vicious Russia, and that you must pay for the fight against a mythical Russian threat out of your own pockets. All of this is a lie. The truth is that the problems you are facing are the result of years of actions by ruling elites of your own countries. Their mistakes, short-sightedness, and ambition, they do not think about how to improve your lives. They are obsessed with their own selfish interests and excessive profits. President Putin. Do you believe him? Yeah, I believe him. Ron Johnson says COVID was pre-planned by the elite. Yes, it was because of why? Because of Event 201 in 2019, the pandemic tabletop exercise organized by George Soros and company and Bill Gates. Yeah. They basically did a dry run and then they ran with it. Same people too. Same people. Oh, this is funny. Oh, there's an alien. He's talking to a dog. What's he saying? Go and tell the humans that the real matrix is in their thoughts and beliefs. The dog says, I'm a dog, bro. Yeah. We're not going to be able to understand the dog, bro. I like the way the dog says, bro. Byron York put this out from New York Times. Biden has raised little of what he needs to build a presidential library. Raised exactly $0 in new donations in all of 2024. Wow. And yeah, and you telling me that 81 million people voted for this guy? No, that didn't happen. That's just not true. May this new week bring you steady peace, good energy, and small moments that make you smile. Oh, look at that nice little snowman there from Etheric Echoes. Here's a guy put up by Martina George from Tom and Lori Health. I worked at Pfizer for 17 years. We didn't discover drugs. We discovered markets. If a drug cured asthma in 3 days, we'd kill it. Chronic disease is where the money is. Cures are bad for business. Peter Rost. Look at this from Dad Jokes. It's crazy how close the meteorite came to hitting the visitor center. Look how close it came to visiting the crater visitor center. Wow. What a coinkydink, huh? You liberal Democrats think ICE is authoritarian? This was Gavin Newsom's Gestapo tyrant California during COVID, harassing and arresting people for no crimes and no laws broken. Thanks, Jim, for putting that out there. This is what Trump said about Rob Reiner. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as The Trump administration surpassed all goals, expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. Nobody like Trump. There is nobody like Trump. I am grateful for those of you who can see. Yes, put on those sunglasses and you'll see. Thanks, Natalie, for putting that out. Happy Monday. There's the gang, the Peanuts gang there telling you happy holiday spirit through the year. Yes. Oh, and this is my memories from 6 years ago. What's this? Barry and Mike, worst two men the White House has ever known. Yeah, very true. Very true. Oh, if women can paint their eyebrows, we can paint our beards. Yeah, it looks so natural. Yeah, why not? Because it looks dumb, that's why. New photo released of the Epstein files from House Democrats show President Trump hanging around Epstein as far back as 1975. I authenticated this photo as legitimate, signed Epstein's mother. Of course, that's Juan Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter. You got to be pretty old to understand that joke. Thanks, Floyd Evans. And I don't know if this is true or not, or AI, but it's kind of cute, so we're going to watch it. Oops. Where's the sound? Oh, there's the sound. Oh. Hello?
Hello, we're not seeing anything on the screen. We just see a picture of a fox that's just protecting their mom, but there's no video or anything.
Okay, all right, I figured it out. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kathy. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Kathy. And I guess it didn't show. Sorry about that. Share this tab instead. Let's try this. See if this will work. What the fuck? Uh-oh. This isn't it. That's not it. Oh, God.
What the hell?
There it is.
Easy, guys. I'm here to help you.
Easy. Beef jerky.
That was cool.
Yeah, I don't know
what the hell.
If that's real or not, but kind of cute. Anyway, share this tab instead. Okay, there we go. Now we're back on track. President Trump takes victory lap, humiliates the experts because of the tariffs. I've taken in $18 trillion. There's never been anything like it. The Biden admin took in less than $1 trillion in 4 years. We took in more than $18 trillion in 10 months. That's good. That is very good. British teen speaks out. They're forcing us to learn about Islam and the Prophet Muhammad in school. I don't want that. I want to learn about my culture. I'm proud to be English. Well, I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. Oh, when they tell you Trump's appointees are unqualified, remind them that this is what sleepy, creepy, crooked Joe put in charge of our nuclear waste disposal. A total loon. Didn't even know what the heck he was. Didn't even know. And here's a 6-year bump. That's my granddaughter, Hazel, from 6 years ago. Look at her. She's just a baby back then. That's that. And here's Tulsi Gabbard shooting off a cannon at the military games going on. Let's watch this. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Truckloads of evidence of the election being stolen. The best is yet to come. What else do we got here? Yep. Sick, demented Muslim shot and killed 11 Jews celebrating Hanukkah in Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach, imagine that. In Sydney, Australia. So sick. Yes. And look at this. Tyler Robinson and what's his name that they think shot Kennedy, but he really didn't. Yeah. Fluoride officially classified as a neurotoxin in the world's top medical journals. Conspiracy theorists for the last 80 years. Well, we knew that. Yeah, we totally knew that. We knew that. When exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime, you are being ruled by criminals. Thank you, sir, for pardoning Tina Peters, a big milestone to restore justice. They tried to get her out of jail the other day, Peter Tickton. They wouldn't let her go. And I asked the librarian if they had books on paranoia. She whispered, "They're right behind you." Okay, thanks, dad jokes. Thanks, dad jokes. And, oh, did you know this? Placing pillows in sunlight once a week naturally sterilizes them with UV rays, kills dust mites, bacteria, and mold, giving you cleaner sleep and clearer skin. Did you know that? Well, that's interesting. You got to flip it over at noon, flip them over and get both sides maybe. Put your pillow on a outside rotisserie and let the sun just bake it clean. Look at that. Interesting. Oh, here is Hal Kangas put this out. Facebook conservatives. It's a cartoon. Oh, the Dems, they loved Obama when he was bombing civilians with the drones, killing American civilians. Oh, he's a hero. But when Trump bombs the drug boats, it's a war crime, according to them. Yeah. Did you hear this? After discovering the proton, CERN detects a tetraquark particle existing in two places at once, defying classical physics. A tetraquark. Sounds like tetragon, doesn't it? Interesting. My uncle works for a company that makes bicycle wheels. He's the spokesman. He's the spokesman. Thanks, puns. And she'll love it. Undocumented isn't a race. It's a criminal. So don't call me a racist because I have a problem with 20 million criminals at large in America. Or more. Or more. Trump has such a big heart. This Christmas, he's flying thousands of illegals home to be with their families. That's so nice. That is nice. It's nice all the way around, isn't it? La 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 la. Oh, you hear this? Trump, President Trump, expecting to rename San Andreas Fault to Joe Biden's fault. I think that's pretty good. Always a good use of this old classic meme where there's puppet is looking one way and the other. This is of course, the double slit experiment. When you're not looking, it makes all these different lines. When you're looking, it only makes 2 lines. The observer affects the results. That's how much power we have. Just by looking at something, things change. We are powerful beings. Steve and Anthony Cefalo put that out. This could be one of the most mind-boggling images we see in 2025. Why? Hot from the James Webb Telescope. These are not stars. They're galaxies. Those are galaxies, folks. Look at that. Oh, boy. And here, of course, here's Clinton, Bill Clinton, getting a shoulder rub from one of the Epstein girls. Here he is photographed on the Lolita Express with Ghislaine Maxwell. And he was at the White House. Jeffrey Epstein was at the White House from Clinton inviting him 17 times. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. Well, we got to watch this. This is good. From Carlo Del Mundo. Let's watch this, shall we? It's pretty fun. Oh. And that's all she wrote. Well, folks, I think we're going to... Oh, here's Bert and Ernie. Oh, they're not aging very well. Oh, man. Yeah. It's kind of spooky looking. Well, I think we're going to call it a night, folks. Let's call it a night right there, shall we now? Oh, that was cute, says Peggy Dancer. And Kimberly Flores says hi. And Clinton's appearance in court had now been moved to January 17th or 18th. Really? I thought it was supposed to be this month. They must have changed it again. Kathy says, good night, everyone. And I got to give my little message. Thank you all so very much. Thank you all so very much. My keyboard's still working. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And there it is. Thank you all so very much. Remember, we do this 3 days a week. Oh, and coming up this Friday will probably be my last show. The following week, I will be in Minnesota visiting with my mother and other family members for Christmas. So after Friday's show, we're going to be off the air for a while, but don't worry. We'll be back because we usually do it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. Oh, well, look, we got some more goodbye messages. Cap 78 Pack Peggy Dancer says, thanks, Aaron. Good show. Not much chatting going on here. God bless you all. Much love and peace in. And so thank you very much. And Back 69 says, hello and good night. Hello and good night. And Cap 78 Pack says, happy birthday, Skylark 74. And look at all those little emoji cool things she has on there. That's nice. All righty then. All right, well, we'll see you next time. It happens around 9 p.m. Central, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, peace in. Keep your cameras pointed to the skies so you can take a picture of that crazy UFO and come on to the Truth Quest and talk all about it because we love to hear about your crazy UFO experiences. Wouldn't we now? Oh, yes, we would. We would. Can't lie about that. It's going crazy. It's going crazy. That's right. All right. Peace in. We'll see you on Wednesday right around 9 p.m. Central. Until then, peace in. World peace, baby. Oh, yeah.